Hi, I'm Andrea McLean. Welcome to The Agenda. Today I'm joined by a force of a woman and I can't wait to see where our conversation is going to take us. Judith Rosenbauer, thank you so much for joining me today. Your mission, as it were, where you sit now in this moment in your life, is all about showing people how they can take back control of their health. So I'm really interested in what that actually means for you.
Well, because I had a lot of health issues. So about 7 years ago, I could hardly get out of the bed. I had chronic fatigue, lots of ailments. And life doesn't look very nice when you're in that situation, when you have to spend the whole day trying just to do the basics because you don't have the energy. And I did doctor shopping, and then I gave up on the conventional medicine. And then I went to alternatives, and that enlightened me somewhat, but I wasn't making the progress that I wanted to make. And then all of a sudden this information came to me. I think that's what happens sometimes, you know, when you're searching for something. And it's the information of Anthony William. It's the information of Anthony William, medical medium. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
No.
He's all over the internet, so now you'll know. He's written 8 books, and I've devoured them. Yes, it's just about using food and supplements to cleanse your body, because that's the problem. We are in a sick society in the Western world. The richest countries in the world, people are very sick, and it's going to be more and more, and younger people are getting sicker. Things that they said were aging ailments. It's not arthritis, for example. It's not the truth anymore. Young people are getting arthritis. And so that's the path I've been taking for 7 years, and it has worked. It's a lot of work, but you know.
And this is what I'm interested in, because it's such a theme that you hear very often, where people get to a point where they're either incapacitated or they are forced to make some kind of change to their life. And this happens whether it's in with our own emotional growth, our mental growth, whether it is a career change. In your instance, obviously, it was health. Why do you think we get to a point where we think, right, I cannot take where I am any longer, I need to make some sort of pivot?
I would question whether we're forced to, because that sounds like it was my fault. Of course, I had a very stressful life running a theater and creating a theater, raising 2 children. But the air we breathe, we know, is toxic. The food we eat doesn't have the minerals it should have in it. And the food we eat, the air we breathe, the water we drink. So all these things pile up. We're even born now, according to Anthony William, we're even born now with compromised livers. So a baby's born
ingested through the mother, passed on to the child.
Yes, the sperm and the egg that creates us is full of toxins, and the parents pass it on. Of course, they don't do it on purpose, but their bodies are toxic as well. So that so if you're born already with your liver not functioning at 100%, only about 70%, and you keep getting these toxins, then you know, illness is inevitable.
It's interesting listening to you speak, because so often we feel that, oh, there's not enough information out there, and actually there's a plethora of information. There's just a lot of misinformation, and clearly it takes a little bit of self-dedication to think, right, I'm not just going to accept what I'm told, whether it's by the Food Standards Agency or whether it's whoever makes the decisions in terms of what we ingest and the air that we breathe. It's taking agency of our own health and making a decision. I'm going to look at labels. I'm going to take my own body measurement, if you like, and think, is this working for me and how I feel? And then look into what I'm going to do about it. What do you say to people who might think, do you know what, I've got to a point in my life, I'm at a certain age, I'm ill, it is what it is, I'm just going to sit here and wait feeling terrible until the end of my days, there's nothing I can do about it. What would you say to those people?
Well, sadly, most people are thinking that way, and I just refuse to. I just thought, I saw myself going downhill, and I thought, well, I take care of myself. I've always taken care of myself, and I wasn't going to put up with that. And I got no answers from the doctors. It was more sweeties. Here's a sweetie for
Yeah.
this, here's a sweetie for that. And I thought, no, I don't want sweeties. Tell me what the problem is and how I can heal.
Yes. I want to rewind now, because knowing you the little that I do, you are not a woman who takes any situation laying down. In terms of if you think that either it is something that can be changed or something that you think could be done better. And you have lived in 3 different continents in your life. You were born in America, worked and lived in Germany for, is it 45 years? Your theatre company, your theatre
Well, no, it
has
wasn't
been
because of
going?
the theatre company. I married a German and I went off to America, as a young woman. My children are born there. I have German citizenship, and that's how I ended up there. But I wanted to leave America. I think when I was 5 years old, I thought, you got to get out of this country.
At
I don't know if
5?
it was that I was that cognizant of it, but I felt I need to move. And I fell in love with an actress called Ingrid Bergman. I don't know if she's and not just so that she was a good actress, but her life. She dared to live the life that she wanted to live. And when I discovered her, she was making a comeback in America because she had married Roberto Rossellini and wasn't allowed to come back into the country. I think they even refused to give her a passport because she turned into this fallen woman, as the Americans saw it. And I thought, wow,
Good for her.
good for her.
I want a bit of that.
Yeah.
So obviously you've had your own, you're an incredibly self-driven person, so you've had your own drive. It has obviously carried you at certain chapters of your life, and I do believe that as we go through our life, we live certain chapters, and there are certain moments that we learn from, we grow, we either carry them with us, and they some people live a life in a straight line, some people it's a little bit more fluid, and we move around and learn and grow. What would you say is the chapter of learning that you are in now at this moment in time?
Well, I don't want to be self-driven.
Okay.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with drive, but it usually comes from being abused or bullied.
Okay.
Yeah, so society told me, well, you can only do this, you can only do that, and of course that's a bullying. And so that drove, or if a child's bullied in school and then he becomes today a billionaire, or maybe a trillionaire, billion is not enough these days, it's because he wants to show people something, Jeff Bezos or
and
Mr.
many
Gates,
other that we can name.
And I want to get away from that. I've been working on getting away from that. Just doing things I want to do, just being Judith, and not trying to prove anything to anyone.
Okay, so if somebody is watching you now and thinking, just as you did all those years ago, I want a bit of that. How do I get a bit of Judith? How do I get that self-belief and drive that doesn't necessarily stem from a negative place? It stems from a place of self-belief, of possibilities. What would you say?
Well, everybody wants a bit of that. That's why we come here to this planet, to fulfill our dreams. And everybody should have the right to fulfill their dreams. So that is our birthright.
And what would you say to them in terms of what they can tune into in order to feel capable of doing that?
Well, they shouldn't be held back. A woman shouldn't be held back, because she's a woman, or anybody shouldn't be held back, and to be encouraged. I think having been a primary school teacher as well, I never wanted to start a theatre. I always wanted to start a school because I felt as a pupil, this is an antiquated system. It is not encouraging me to think. It is encouraging me to regurgitate. And we're still doing that. We're still doing that. And if then people would be able to be themselves, we don't, when a child comes to a school, we don't take what the child brings and use that and encourage the child. We can see the talents they have, but then we're not interested in them.
I'm so sorry that we don't have longer. I would love to talk to you for hours and hours, but before we go, if someone has been inspired by, you know, the little bit of your life that we have heard just over the past few minutes, how can people reach you?
Well, I want to set up this website and a YouTube channel because this man has information that is beyond what doctors know. And I think we should know that, for example, that our main immune system is in our bloodstream, for example, or that women through menstruation lose that bloodstream every month. So we are not like men. And I think we've been taught, my generation especially has taught, and we've passed it on to your generation, is that, you know, we're like men and we can do everything that a man does. No, we can't. That doesn't mean we can't fulfill our dreams, but we are not men. We are the vessels of new life.
Watch this space. We will put up any links that you give us, so anybody watching us here will be able to find you. Judith, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you.